Okay, thank you so much guys for coming. I want to thank Rallim and thank again Michelle. Amazing work you guys are doing. Really, wow. So it's really an honor and a privilege to be here speaking to you. Education really is the key for change in South Africa, I really believe. And it really is the hope of the future. So anybody here who's sitting here who's got any kind of role to play in education, I think give yourselves a hand. And we thank you on behalf of the nation. So I'm here to talk to you about social media. And before I do, let me just tell you why you should believe me. Fake news. So I started life as a marketing manager, and I worked in advertising for a little bit, and then I was a marketing manager for a bank and for a medical insurance company. I worked in London, in Australia, and Stanton, Pretoria, Stanton, stunning. Oh, I live in Australia, because when you work in Australia, you have to know the accent, otherwise they don't understand you. I won't do a Honey accent, but all I meant to say was, you're right, you're right. Yeah, you're right, yeah, mate. So along the journey, I then came back to South Africa and worked in online gaming. And in online, I know, I saw the look of horror and judgment on my face. My mom said to me, I'm gonna pray that you don't get that job. And she's like, how can you take this job? I was like, Mom, if I work at McDonald's, is it my fault that everybody overeats? But after a while, I couldn't take it anymore because it really is a little bit hectic. But I went there to learn about digital marketing, and I got the most incredible immersion in digital marketing ever. Because actually, I didn't know anything about digital marketing. I don't even know why they hired me. And I think for a while they also wondered. But I learned amazing things about digital marketing in 6 years there, because literally, online gaming is so ahead of the digital game. And I started my own company after that, and I originally started with the goal to help small entrepreneurs learn how to grow their businesses using digital marketing. Also, I wasn't sure if I could do the job, and I wanted to practice on small entrepreneurs. So I didn't charge very much, and I was like, okay, I'm just kind of working on what I'm doing still. I'll do this for you for like 2,000 Rand. And so I learned, and so they grew their businesses, and I grew my business, and now we have some really amazing customers, of which Rallim I'm very blessed to count as a customer, even though most of the amazing work, I must be honest, gets done by Paul. He's quite gifted. If you're here to learn about like how to create a post and post it on Facebook, then take a scone and or just chill and relax, because I can't unfortunately train you in like the very, very basics of social media. Social media's been around now for about 10 years officially. When companies started jumping on the bandwagon and starting to say, oh, people are on Facebook and people are on social media, how can we get on there too? Now the problem with social media is it's social media, not company media, and it's on sales media. So if you're a brand, and if you're trying to sell something, you actually don't belong on social media. Am I right? You're kind of actually just like horning in on the conversation, to put up your post, when actually everyone just wants to watch cats and other people's kids and see how perfect other people's lives are and how happy and married they are, when you are stuck with, things I don't go through anymore. So what I'm here to talk you through is the different layers of social media. So originally when social media came around, I was giving talks on how to do social media, like the very basics. Everyone was freaked out. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. Like, I don't know how to do Facebook. What do I do, to create content on social media? Where do I get started as a business somebody who wants to sell something or present something? So, but we've kind of progressed now, and I still get people coming to training courses or talks saying, am I doing this right? What else should I be doing? Am I missing something? So I've spent a lot of time, because I am an N, thank you, I am an intuitor, big thinker, so yes, I do overload my team with, I have a great idea guys, we're going to reposition the entire business, we're going to now go in this direction, and they're all just like a bunch of S's, like, just, yeah, they're just like, zone me out now. So, but I do spend a lot of time thinking about what is next level social media, what are the layers of social media, where are we in social media. And so I'm going to take you through this amazing pyramid that I've constructed, and I call it amazing because I came up with it. But I do love pyramids. And so this pyramid is taking you through the layers of social media, and you need to mark off where you are on your journey as a brand. Now imagine if you're sitting here, you either want to learn about social media for yourself as a person. How can you use social media to maybe create a business for yourself, start a brand for yourself? So now you've got two hats. You're wearing two hats. You're sitting here as an individual, and you're sitting here representing the brand and the company that paid for your ticket. So we're going to give you value for both. I'm going to give you value for the company that you represent, but I'm also going to give you value as an individual sitting here, an expert, a passionate person who has a lot of skills, whatever they may be. You've spent your life accumulating skills and passions along the way. How can you monetize that? How can you share that? How can you build a legacy? Because that was the beautiful thing that Koos finished with. Something about another hour and an hour and a legacy. Loving and legacy. Yeah, it's pretty epic. So, love your work, leave, and another thing with an L. How can we leave a legacy? And I think as humans, we are wired to want to leave something behind. So yes, most of us are parents, and so we leave our kids behind when we leave. Let's not talk about that. But I want to focus on what are you going to leave behind as an individual sitting here. You spend your lifetime accumulating amazing skills, and some of us have had some really horrible experiences along the way. We've had shameful experiences. We've been fired. We got divorced. Bad things have happened, in childhoods. And I want to encourage you that is not, there's no such thing as failure. Actually, it is all a beautiful story that forms and weaves this intricate tapestry that is you. And there are other people who have to hear what you've been through. So there's nothing that you need to hide, and there's nothing that you need to be ashamed of in your story that has been your life. It's your unique journey that has been crafted, that you have crafted and that has been crafted with you. So I want to encourage you, if you're taking notes, maybe have a column for me and have a column for the business. Or have a page for me and a page for the business. So you're going to be taking some action points on both columns. So what am I passionate about? What is my story? What is my unique message? And what is the legacy I'm going to leave behind? So I'm going to touch on a bit of for both hats that you're here wearing. So I wear 3 hats besides the many home hats that I wear. I have a business called Shift1, which is a digital marketing business where we create digital marketing and integrate all the different channels together for many of our brands, for all of our brands. I'm also an educator. So I own a business called the Digital Marketing Academy, which is a pop-up shop. And basically we run training courses on all the different digital marketing platforms. So I love to teach, and I think that is the future. And I actually think that, to be perfectly honest, digital marketing is such an easy skill for our masses of uneducated, hopeless people out there who are not going to have jobs, and don't have jobs. You can literally become a social media marketer if you have a phone, start your own business, and, help some other small business to get ahead. Exactly. Great. Charge them $50. And then my personal brand, Dylan Kolstad. So each of you, I want to ask you, have you bought your own domain of your name? So you two have to move. I'm on it. So if you haven't bought your domain, I'll buy it and sell it back to you one day when you're famous for $20,000. So buy your domains. Register your Instagram handles, even if you're not using it at the moment, for your professional brand. And your children as well. I know. Sounds a bit cray-cray, but that's something to consider. It only costs 200 rand a year to buy a domain. Nothing, okay? So buy the domains. Okay, so we do all kinds of social media, and we also do ads, websites, email marketing, graphic design, video marketing, the whole shebang. Okay, so why do we need next level social media? So what is next level social media? I mean, a lot of us are not even doing the basics yet. So for me, social media is about creating a community, making creative content, collaborating, creating conversations, and that will lead to conversions. Now, a conversion is a sale. A conversion is a customer. Whatever you want that person to do is a conversion. If you want them to join your Facebook group, that's a conversion. If you want them to download your white paper, fill out the form, attend an event, that's a conversion. Now, a lot of marketers and businesses in South Africa are all about the sale. And so if any of you are in social media here, you're going to hear your bosses saying, is it working? But is the social media working? We spend so much money on the social media. Is it working? Okay, but what does is it working mean? It's creating social content, conversations, and community. Yes, it's working. We've got a great, invested, loyal community. We have passionate brand advocates who are on our Facebook page and on our Facebook group, liking, loving, sharing, and commenting. Yes, it's working. Did you mean you want sales? Because that's two different goals. So let's have a look at what social media is about.
Allow me to introduce the rest of us.
So the one thing I want to set your heart at rest at right up front is you don't need a huge budget to create epic content on social media. You don't need a full-on staff, full-time videographer who spends all their time editing the most epic videos together. You don't need a drone. All of those things are amazing. But sometimes genuine, authentic content that's a little bit wobbly, the sound may not be that great, but it's incredibly authentic. That will resonate more with your audience. So I need you to mark off some homework for me. Who is your audience? Who are your audiences? Who are the different customer segments you're trying to reach? Because you have to create content for each type of audience that you have out there. So if you have got an audience who is parents, your teachers might be an audience, the broader community might be an audience, the students might be an audience. You might have business-to-business audiences. And so if you have unpacked who they are cleanly, you'll be able to create authentic content that resonates with each audience. And the best thing actually is to find somebody else within that same audience to create content for you. And that's C2C, consumer to consumer. So if a parent can create content for you to promote your content to other parents, it's going to resonate a lot stronger than you saying, sign up here, join now, download now, or whatever your call to action might be. So there's B2B, you have to separate out your audiences in business to business, business to consumer, and consumer to consumer. Who's going to sell for you? Okay, so, I used to be able to speak the English very good. The older I get, I couldn't remember, is it whom or is it who? And then I thought, I'm just going to change the whole sentence so that the whom isn't if whom do you wish to be. And then I'm like, I'm speaking to educators, what the heck are you doing? This grammar Nazis in the room, so let's skip past that slide. I see colleagues like, oh, the bad grammar. I can't even take it anymore. So who's your audience? So if you've unpacked your audiences very, very neatly, you'll be able to create content that resonates. Because here's the truth. How many of you have kids? Okay, so for the lucky people who don't have, did I say that? For those who don't have kids, when my children, I have a 10-year-old, 9-year-old, and a 5-year-old, I know this information, when they're watching TV, they say, I'm the one with the blue hair, I'm the one with the pink hair. So they see themselves in the TV, right? You've heard that. But now, did you know that when I conduct website usability testing, where I bring one candidate in and I show them a website and I say, what do you think of the website? They want to see themselves there too. And I've heard this coming out of adults' mouths. Oh no, that's not me, that's like a techie. I'm obviously in the wrong place, that website's not for me, this is just for techies. So it's as simple as once you've crafted your audiences and segmented your audiences and you're very clear who your customers are, I'm going to then ask you to look at your websites as your very first most important touch point. Have you created content for that audience? When they look at themselves, are they there? Look for themselves, are they there? So that's step number one. And then step number two on your social media accounts is some of the content pitched at them. Literally, does it look like them? And you can even go a little bit further. I don't have time to go into neuromarketing, but they've mapped the limbic region of the subconscious, and they actually have divided by age and by gender. They've divided, so if you know that your customers are predominantly older women, there's certain key trigger words that you can use when you're creating content for your older women demographic. So I'm just going to leave that as homework for you to go and look up neuromarketing in the limbic map. But I'm going to show you an example of that quickly.
Girl, just let it go.
So that's an ad for a perfume. But what have they done? They've unpacked their demographic, and they actually looked into some search terms to see what were people searching for in their customer demographic on, for example, YouTube. And they found that women were typing in things like, how do I know if I'm confident? How do I show confidence? How do I love myself? And so they posed those questions to some celebrities, and that was the ad that they created. It's emotional. So now we've been told all our lives as women that we're too emotional. Women are emotional, and men are the logical ones. I don't agree, because who are the ones that write all the sad love songs? So, exactly. So I'm going to task you with understanding the emotions of each of your customer demographics. What are the emotions of your different customers? What's the emotional connection that you can create with them as a brand? Because people buy because of emotions. They don't actually buy because of logic. So if you're creating this logical approach, we have the best this and the best this and the best this, that appeals to someone's logic center, but it doesn't appeal to their emotional center. So when Woolworths says the Woolworths difference, it's not we have the best and quality check everything, and so your slogan has to be emotive. When I land on your website and I get that first message, it's got to be a highly emotive message. It's not something that's just fact-based. So that's step number one. Step number 5. You're going to understand who your audiences are. You're going to create authentic content that's going to resonate. And if you as a brand can't create that kind of content because maybe you're bound by these very strict, rigid brand guidelines, then you can ask your audience to create content for you, and then it's okay to share that. And it doesn't have to be top quality because it's user-generated content. So sometimes your audience can create and get away with slightly more emotional content. But let me put this out there with you. If you're creating content on social media that is not getting liked and commented and shared on, then I'm going to actually say that it shouldn't be created. You're actually just creating noise. In fact, it's job creation, because the boss expects you to create 3-4 posts a week, right? So you're doing it to tick a box. But because we're on this content creation treadmill, we're creating this content because we have a content plan and it has to go out, and we're just ticking boxes. So if you're going to create content, make sure that it's rather the content that moves the needle than content that doesn't move the needle. So that's step number 1. So what are your goals? Now this is very, very important. Remember I came back to the boss who's saying, why we're not making sales on social media? Well, it's the wrong goal, the wrong tool, the wrong metric. So write down, what are the goals for the year for you as a business? What is your overall business? Do you know the business's overarching goals for the year? Not marketing, the business. And then number 2, what is marketing or social media's goal? And how does that support the business goal? And then I'm going to ask you, what is the goal of this post that you're creating on social media. Because if you go back to, I don't know, is it working? I'm not sure if it's working. Then you don't know what the goal was. So if you knew what the goal of that little post is, and every post has a job to do. It's either community, it's either referrals, I want followers, I want subscriptions, every goal, every mailer you send out, every piece of content, every event, every single thing you're doing as a business to get customers needs to have a clear goal, and one goal. One post, one goal. One campaign, one goal. One event, one goal. One mailer, one goal. One settler, one goal. Sorry. Said I wasn't going to make any inappropriate jokes. Okay, here's my awesome table of pyramid awesomeness. So, if you need customers, how many of you need customers right now? You want customers, you want signups, you want subscriptions, you want somebody signing up something somehow. Yes? No shame in that. Fantastic. Take out some ads. Done. Ads are the best, fastest, quickest way to get customers. Facebook ads, super cheap. Create some ads, set them up. Target your audience. Now, digital marketing is all about digital targeting. So that's the beauty of digital marketing, is if you know who your audience is and you've created an ad to target that one small segment, not everyone, you're targeting that small segment. Remember, we've segmented our audience now. So we're not saying everyone in South Africa is a potential, every parent should buy our math software. It's not that case. It's definitely not every parent. It is specifically parents with X, Y, and Z, children of this age. And did you know on Facebook, you can actually mark high net worth, rich folks. I want to target them rich folks. You can say, click interest, I have money. Yes, we'll target you with this ad. Did you know that you can target people with children of a certain age on Facebook? You can even say, I want to target parents with kids who are this age, who have money, who live in Sunningdale. And so what's happening now is you don't have to spend a huge amount of money, like a billboard on the highway, 80,000 Rand, it's targeting everybody, it's unmeasurable. Now I can spend 50 Rand, 500 Rand and target a very niche audience. If you don't know who your audience is, you're going to target everyone. If you didn't create a content and an ad that specifically appeals to the right audience, it's going to waste your money. And then you're going to be, Dylan told me I must do these ads and they didn't work. Why did I spend the money on that breakfast? So you have to refine it. The message has to appeal to the right market. I can't think of another M, but it would be really powerful if I could. Message, market, the visual, the right call to action. So you have to sweat that ad. There's no such thing as setting up a quick ad. Any of you who've ever worked in Facebook Business Manager? You got to sweat it. You got to sweat the creative, like actual sweat must run down. So, is it the right picture? Is it the right wording? Have you used your Olympic map trigger wording? So we know that this is targeting younger females, and we know that younger females like long walks on the beach, puppy dogs, poetry. I know, it's not just a stereotype. It's what the map says. Okay, so you're going to create an ad, and your ad is going to appeal to the right market. If you're not sure, get somebody else who is one of your audience, like actually a parent or a user of the software, to create some content for you and promote that to your audience. Okay, so this is what I call content marketing hard sell. So this is where you're posting stuff up on social media and you are really just saying buy now, buy now, buy now. We've got a client who just wants us to post stuff up on social media about what they have to offer. They don't want to build a community, they don't care about you at all, they just want you to buy right now. And I keep saying, oh, wrong medium. Like, you can't just be posting hard sell. When people are scrolling through Facebook, they want to see fun stuff. They want to be entertained. They want to be educated. They want to see recipes. So you can't be burning through your market here. That kind of marketing is dead. That's old school. Most of you are too young to even remember that kind of marketing. Okay, so then we go to what we call soft sell marketing, which is creating great value-filled marketing. Rallim Facebook page is an amazing place to go and check out. Paul creates most of the content there, and it is what I consider to be next level social media. Most people think we create it for them, and I must admit that I just go, it's great, isn't it? Such great content. No, just kidding, I do tell them the truth. So go and look at the Rallim page, because that's a really great example of how to create just incredible, authentic, beautiful next level social media content where you are. It's a very soft sell. We're just showing how awesome we are. That's just kind of woven into the message. Okay, then we've got influencers. Macro influencers. Everybody knows Bonang, everybody knows the big people with the big following. And if you do bring in a macro influencer, they have a role to play. But the biggest thing that they can do for you is get you very big brand awareness very expensively. Like 60,000 Rand for a tweet. Yeah, one tweet of them just like holding the credit card like that, you know? So that's micro influencers. They definitely have a role to play, but micro influencers are a lot more effective. Now, a micro influencer's got a small Instagram following, 2,000, 500, 10,000, but usually between like about 1,000 and 3,000. That's a micro influencer. Micro influencers actually sell more than macro influencers. And micro influencers will often do stuff for freebies. Love the freebies. And then there's user-generated content. This is a consumer to consumer. That's if you can convince your customers to sell for you. I mean, think about it. Just think about it for a moment here. This is the most epic thing. You don't need a sales team. You don't need ads. You don't need to pay them. You need when your customers start selling for you, your job is done. You don't even need to create social media posts because they're creating them for you. You're just sharing it on your platforms. Look how awesome we are. We don't even have to say it ourselves. Somebody else is saying it for us. And then right up at the very top, community. How can you create a community? Have you created a Facebook group? I didn't say page. Facebook pages are very last year. And a Facebook page in one sound is so a Facebook page, yeah, you gotta have it. But it's like meh. It's very hard to find a Facebook page really rocking. But a community, a Facebook group. Even Facebook themselves last year at their annual conference announced that they're putting priority on Facebook groups. What's a group? It's different to a page. It's a community. Where it's constructed in a different way. It's more interesting. And that is where the power is. Because you know what a Facebook page is? Look how awesome I am, look how awesome I am. Okay, when are you gonna buy? But a community is like, hey man, I've got like an itch in a strange place. Has anybody else had this? Yeah man, I had that too. Stop eating this. Oh yeah, okay, cool. I tried this cream, amazing. So that's a community. It's actually a bunch of people talking amongst themselves, and it's just hosted by you. So your brand does appear there, it's kind of hosted by your brand, but it's very soft sell. It's very gentle. You're not posting your ads in there. You got to be very careful because you don't want the cats to bolt. So you just got to create this lovely nurturing space by creating great content. So here's what you can do. Because the other thing Facebook told us their priority is live. Live. Are you live? Are you live right now? Oh, see, Lauren is next level.
not right now.
You're not that. Oh, okay, sorry, she's not there next level. She's next level. So Facebook Live, Instagram Live, basically there's a little option on any post that you create to go live. And that probably terrifies you. Like, oh my gosh, there are no edits. If somebody swears, it's live. And so the epicness of that is exactly that. It's not editable, it's highly authentic, and people feel like they're there. So somebody's sitting in Joburg and they want to know what it's like to live in Cape Town, and every day you have your live walk on the beach because you sell property on the beach. I'm not selling a house right now. I'm just, okay guys, I'm just walking down Joburg Beach right now, and okay, there was a sewage spill, but they said let's leave it up. So fortunately you can smell the smell over the digital airwaves, but it's really great to move here. So if you can create a Facebook group, and every Monday at 10 you have a live video with one expert, and every Tuesday at 10 you have a live video. By live video I mean live Facebook or live Instagram, or live Facebook because it's a Facebook group, a live Facebook video with another expert. And then, okay, this is a bit high grade, to immediately start with one live video a day. That's the aspiration. But let's just start with one live video a month. Yes, ma'am?
When you are streaming something live, do you not need consent from the person to that video?
Yes, because they would have agreed to be live on your video. So if you're thinking of like live streaming from the kids' place, but if it's like an expert, what business are you in? Education. So it would be like one of the teachers. Okay, we're live introducing this teacher to you now. Please talk us through who you are. Or guys, we just got a new bunch of Macs that have just arrived, and it's kind of like a live unboxing of the Macs.
You have Google and you try to stream it to
Yes.
Community type thing.
Yes. So it had people who are in the video must opt in to be in the video. Yeah, so very important that you do tick those boxes. So live video, live events, and you don't have to be the expert on everything. You can bring in some experts and some knowledgeable people, share the love. It's all about authenticity, it's about giving, it's about being expansive. So if you want to build a loyal community of fans, then create communities. If you want to do brand building, then do those things. You're welcome to take photos if you want, or I can send this to you. If you want sales, you can look at ads or influencer marketing. And user-generated content kind of does everything. User-generated content is almost for me like the nirvana. It builds a community, it builds a brand, and it creates sales. So that for me is digital marketing in sort of a nutshell, social media in a nutshell. The different kinds of things that you should be doing. So set the right goal for each of your posts. And remember, if you're looking for sales, don't look at it from your Facebook posts. Remember the goal there is more community brand building. All right, so now I'm going to ask you about your budget. So if I know what your budget is, then, so those are the three questions that I ask every client when I meet them. Who's your target market? What are your goals? And what's your budget? Because then I can kind of like plan accordingly. You need sales, you need them right now, no problem. Let's immediately start your Facebook ads, your LinkedIn ads, your Google ads, done. And then we start doing all the other stuff and fixing up stuff. So if you know those three questions, you can actually work out your entire marketing strategy for the year. Okay, so traditional marketing is dead because in the olden days, we were just looking for sales, sales, sales. We just wanted people to buy. But now it's about creating a ecosystem for your customers. So how are you helping them be better at what they do? So when you are unpacking your customer segments, I want to know what are their needs. So that's the other thing you need to add into your customer segment table. And if you email me, I'll send you a template of this table. So what are their needs? Like what are they looking for? How can you create this beautiful ecosystem? If you understand their needs, you can create live videos and create content based on those needs to help them be better at their jobs. But for too long, I think marketing's kind of been like a wrestling match between us and our customers. When will you buy? But remember, it's not a one-night stand. So, for those, I'm not going to say of us, who hang out at Doodles at 2 in the morning, you're not going to make the quality connections. So if you want the quality connections, you need to go to the church probably more and find a marriage. We're in a marriage with our customers, right? So we are literally here to create. So if you're in a marriage with your customer, then it's not just about the now and I don't care about tomorrow. So you can't think, I need the sale from you now, because actually there's an 8-year cycle between when they make that decision. So what are you going to do in those 8 years? You're going to welcome them into your community, welcome them into your ecosystem, create amazing content, inspire them. Okay, so if you are spamming and hard selling, you're just going to lose your customer at the end of the day. Michelle, will you keep me tags of time? I have no idea how much time I have. I'm just going to keep speaking until people walk out. Okay, so we've gone through our levels of trust. So let's start actually unpacking some of our levels of trust at the moment.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm going to just give you some actions to do and just do the first thing that comes to mind. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
Here.
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl. Aww.
My name is Dakota and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
Do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
Is like a girl a good thing?
Actually, I don't know what it really, if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like you're trying to humiliate someone.
So when they're in that vulnerable time between 10 and 12, how do you think it affects them when somebody uses like a girl as an insult?
I think it definitely drops their self-confidence and really puts them down because during that time they're already trying to figure themselves out. And when somebody says you hit like a girl, it's like, well, what does that mean? Because they think they're a strong person. It's kind of like telling them that they're weak and they're not as good as them.
And what advice do you have to young girls who are told they run like a girl, kick like a girl, hit like a girl, swim like a girl?
Keep doing it because it's working. If somebody else says that running like a girl or kicking like a girl or shooting like a girl is something that you shouldn't be doing, that's their problem. Because if you're still scoring and you're still getting to the ball on time and you're still being first, you're doing it right. It doesn't matter what they say. I mean, yes, I kick like a girl and I swim like a girl and I walk like a girl and I wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that's not something that I should be ashamed of. So I'm going to do it anyway. That's what they should do.
If I asked you to run like a girl now, would you do it differently?
I would run like myself.
Would you like a chance to redo it?
Why can't run like a girl also mean win the race?